So we've probably all found some kind of cool vessel or thing, maybe at a thrift store or something like that, or maybe a random friend has given you a jar or vessel or something like that to make into a candle, and maybe you don't know what the exact fill weight and all of that, how much wax and fragrance oil you need to fill up the vessel. And so I'm going to be showing you guys a formula that I use and that many other candle makers use to find the exact fill weight or the wax and fragrance oil percentage that you need for your specific vessel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Nick with the 1994 Candle Co. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Today, the reason I decided to make this video is actually because I needed to find this exact thing out. I needed to find exactly how much wax and fragrance oil I needed for these new vessels that I got. These are going to be Christmas presents for my family. These are from 1617 and I am obsessed with them. I know that like we're not supposed to say obsessed anymore because everyone says it, but I'm obsessed, so sue me. But I seriously, like, I love the gold rim around the inside and then the lid, and just all of it is just, it looks super fancy. And so I, like, pretty much every year I try to find a new vessel to give to my family, just as Christmas gifts and stuff like that. We obviously give them other gifts too, but you know, but they always enjoy kind of seeing what new candle they're gonna get this year and stuff like that. And so these might be possibly my favorite because they are super cool. But like I said, I need to figure out exactly how much wax and fragrance oil I need to fill these. And so I'm going to show you guys the formula that I use to do this. So I've seen a lot of candle makers use, I'm going to be honest, a few different formulas and stuff, and some of them are good and some of them are definitely not correct. But yeah, you know, it's okay. To be honest, for a long time, I did not understand the candle math formula that a lot of people use, because the people who were explaining it and stuff, I don't know if it was just that they, you know, weren't explaining it like in a way that I understood it, or if it was just too confusing because there's too many different words like fill weight and then there's wax weight, and you know, it's like what is what. I would get lost and kind of confused throughout the process, and I just get frustrated and be like, whatever, I'll just eyeball it. And yeah, and I did get pretty good at eyeballing about how much wax and fragrance oil I was gonna need to fill a vessel, but then I watched a video by Alan from Earthglow, and it really kind of broke it down and made it super simple for me. And then I kind of went back and watched other ones and I was like, okay, now I understand it, just because of the way he explained it. He explained it really well. And so it just made me kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, the video, I'll link his down in the description box below. But for whatever reason, the way that he explained it just kind of made it click in my head or whatever. And so I was able to kind of figure it out from there. So thank you, Alan, for making a great video on candle math formulas. So I'm just going to kind of talk through this first for those of you who are maybe more auditory learners or whatever, and you kind of need it explained out to you. And then after that, I'll also give like a visual demonstration of me actually using the formula and everything like that. So if you want to skip to that part of the video, I will actually put chapters down in the description, or down in the, yeah, whatever, in the timeline thing below. You know what I'm talking about. And so that way you can skip to the visual demonstration if you're not really an auditory learner, and stuff like that, whichever one's easier for you. That way, you know, hopefully it makes sense to you. So I'm also going to put it on the screen for you as well, as I kind of explain it, so that hopefully it makes sense. So first thing you're going to do is you're just going to put your candle vessel on your your scale like you normally would, and then you're going to fill it with water instead of wax. You're just going to fill it to wherever you think that you want your wax to be, and you don't have to worry about fragrance oil or anything like that at this point. You're just finding like where you want your candle to be filled to and stuff like that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your candle on a scale like you normally would, and instead of filling it with wax, you're going to fill it with water up to the point that you want your candle to be filled. And you don't have to worry about fragrance oil or anything like that at this point. You're just going to fill it with water up to the point that you want your candle to be filled. And then you're going to take that weight that it reads on your scale once you've gotten it to the fill weight that you want. You're going to take the water weight and you're going to multiply it by 0.86. No matter the size of the jar or the width of the jar or anything like that, you are always going to use the formula of water weight times 0.86 or 0.86. The reason for that is because that is the difference in weight between wax and water. So once you've done your water weight times 0.86, that's going to equal your total weight of your candle. Now from there, you're going to take that total weight of your candle and you are going to divide it by 110%. Now obviously I'm going to use a calculator for this. So you're going to take that total weight and you're going to divide it by 110%, and that is going to equal your wax weight, or how much wax you're going to use minus your fragrance oil. So then from there, all you have to do to find out how much fragrance oil you're going to be putting in your wax is you're just going to take your total weight, that number that we got at the beginning, and you're going to minus the wax weight, the one that we just got. And that is going to equal your fragrance oil amount. So now you should know the amount of wax you're going to need and the amount of fragrance oil you're going to need for each candle. And then if you are making multiple candles, all you're going to do is multiply both your wax weight and your fragrance oil amount by the amount of candles that you're wanting to make. So for instance, if your wax weight is 8 ounces and you're wanting to make 2 candles, you're going to take that and times it by 2, which is 16 ounces. And then you would also do the same for the fragrance oil. Okay, so now I'm going to be giving you guys a visual demonstration of this formula. Also, please don't pay attention to the spilled wax on my table. So you're just going to place your candle vessel on your scale. You're going to tare it just like usual. And then I'm just going to add water in up to the point of where I want my candle filled to. And I think that is pretty good. The nice thing is these have lids that, you know, when they go on top, they don't really go too far inside, especially for like where the wick and stuff is. So I don't have to worry about the wick like getting bent or anything like that. So for math purposes, I'm just gonna say 8.6 instead of 8.61. Real fast, if you are finding some value in this video, it would mean so much to me if you'd give it a thumbs up. It does really help show my videos to more people so that other people can also find value in it as well. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that we can continue hanging out. So now that we've got our water weight, we are going to, like we did before, take that number, which was 8.6, and multiply it by 0.86. And I want to reiterate again for anyone who maybe skipped over this part, you are always going to be taking the water weight times 0.86. You're always going to be multiplying it by 0.86. The reason for that is not because of, like, it's not 10% of your water weight or anything like that. That is just the difference in density between wax and water. So whether your your water weight is 9.3 or 11.5 or 50.8, I don't know, I'm just making up numbers. No matter what your water weight is and no matter how big your vessel is, you're always going to be multiplying your water weight by 0.86. Sorry if I'm over explaining that part. That was kind of the part that would always confuse me probably the most. And so I just want to clarify, want to make sure everyone knows. And also we're doing 8.6 times 0.086, and so I think a lot of people would get confused and think that they're just doing 10% of whatever their water weight is, because there's a lot of 10%, you know, a lot of us use 10% in fragrance oil and all that stuff, and so that's a whole other thing. Don't worry about that yet. We'll get to that eventually. So I'm just gonna do 8.6 times 0.86. And that equals 7.396. We're just gonna do 7.39. Realistically, it would probably be fine just to round up to like 7.4, but for today's video, we will do 7.39. So 7.39 is the total weight of your candle. So that is the wax and the fragrance oil combined. It is going to equal 7.39 ounces. So next up, after you've gotten your total candle weight, you obviously need to figure out how much of that is going to be fragrance oil and how much of that is going to be wax. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your total wax amount, or your total candle amount, I should say, and you are going to divide that by 110%. Now, this is going to be a slightly different number for everyone. I am using 10% fragrance load, so I'm doing, you divide it by 110%. And so you're going to take that 7.39 ounces that we got from our total candle weight, and you're going to divide that by 110%, or you can do 1.10 without the percentage. Okay, so 7.39 divided by 110% is going to be 6.71. So that 6.71 equals the amount of wax that you are going to use in your candle. So then you're just going to take your total weight of the entire candle, which was 7.39, and you're going to minus the wax weight, which was 6.71, and you get 0.68. So 6.71 ounces is the amount of wax that you're going to use for your candle, and then the 0.68 is the amount of fragrance oil. So now we're essentially just going to double check our work by going ahead and making the candle and seeing if we got the formula correct. All right, and moment of truth. I know it's a little dark in here, but it worked almost perfectly. It is filled almost exactly to where I had the water, and yeah, it looks great. So I hope that all made sense to you and everything. I hope that it wasn't too confusing. If you do have any questions, just let me know down in the comments below. I will try my best to kind of explain anything that I might have glossed over or not made sense or been clear on or anything like that. So just be sure to leave a comment down in the comments below, and I will be glad to answer any questions that you have. But with that, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you'd like to continue hanging out, there's going to be some other videos that pop up on the screen, and I will see you there.